ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
No doubt about it, eh? You're listening to Kurt, Bill, and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues hockey fan podcast. Take it away, boys.
Come on, St. Louis hockey fans, stand up and cheer. The Blues are back strong. This is our year. It's the Blues' turn now.
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yeah, it's the Blues' turn now. With that Al McKinnon slap shot, you know we can't lose. We are St. Louis, the home of the Blues. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis.
Let's do that hockey.
Come on, St. Louis. All over the hockey universe, the note is the news. Everybody's digging on the St. Louis.
Welcome to Season 7, Episode 31 of Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues Hockey Podcast. We're live on Wednesday, January 16th, 2019. This is franchise episode number 164 all time. That's a lot. I'm your host, Kurt Price. My co-host, Jeff Ponder, is here with me, and Bill Day will hopefully join us here shortly. He's dealing with a puppy issue that apparently it's quite the mess. That's all I'm going to say about it.
That's what it sounds like.
To interact with us or the show on social media, follow us on Twitter, where most of our interaction takes place. It's at LGB Radio. My Twitter handle is at Kurt Price. Jeff's is at jponder94, and Bill's is at Billy Blue Note. Also follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and the website is letsgoblues.com. And we'll try and open up the show later for folks to join us on the air to talk some hockey if you'd like. And please check out the letsgoblues.com shop for a reasonably priced shirt, mug, or sticker. And we have the Chris Pronger Retire 44 shirt out there, so give that a look. Jeff Ponder's a consumer of that shirt.
I am. I actually meant to bring it with me on my little journey to New Jersey for this episode. I made it sound like I came to New Jersey just for this episode. That's not true. I meant to bring it with me, and I completely left it back in St. Louis. So I'm sure my wife is wearing it every day for me.
Jeff is joining us from the Garden State, the beautiful Garden State.
The part that I'm in, it's about 20 miles outside of Newark, which is literally it looks like ground zero, one of the worst spots in the country. But where I'm at, it's far enough away from Newark. It actually is kind of pretty out here. It's amazing. I found a pretty part of New Jersey.
Wow. Good. I watched the entire series of The Sopranos, and I'm not sure if it takes place near Newark or not, but it's in New Jersey. I know that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's the area I'm in right now is called Westfield, and it's very pretty. This is where a lot of I think the Devils live in this area somewhere, and kind of I guess the Chesterfield or Kirkwood of New Jersey. So where I'm at it's kind of nice, but yeah, definitely it's one of those you cross the train tracks and you're not where you want to be.
The official beers of episode 164. Jeff, do you have a beverage this evening in the beautiful Garden State of New Jersey?
First of all, you mentioned the original Blues podcast of 2011. I want to point out that these are the original hosts of Let's Go Blues Radio.
That's true.
No Bill. So see you later, buddy.
Yeah.
Roles are reversed, though. I used to be in your shoes and you were in mine. This works out better.
And there's no Jeff Quirin.
That's true.
Yep.
Our good friend Jeff Quirin was on the original St. Louis Blues Radio.
Was it a first couple season and a half he was there or something like that? Or
maybe for Let's Go Blues Radio, yeah.
Yeah. St. Louis Blues Radio.
Oh, St.
Louis Blues Radio back then.
That's true. We went through a name change. We rebranded.
We did.
We just didn't want to get sued.
Safer. Safe.
Yeah. So my beer of the episode is one of my favorites, one of the first beers I actually ever had. When I was 18, I traveled up to Canada, and 18 is the legal drinking age. So I'm acting like 18 was the first time I ever had a beer. That's not really true. But
You were 13.
yeah, I have Labatt Blue tonight, a great Canadian beer. Smooth, basically the Canadian version of Bud Light. But I don't know, I think it's got a little more flavor. It goes down a little smoother, and I always enjoy a good Labatt Blue.
Oh, I think Labatt Blue is much tastier than Bud Light.
I agree. I was being generous to Bud Light.
Okay. Well, no, I don't. I'm not a hater of Bud Light like a lot of people are. I much prefer dozens of other beers, obviously, but the thing with me is, I think I said this before, is that if I start off the evening drinking Bud Light, I'm fine. But if I have more flavorful beers to start the evening, and then I go switch to a Bud Light, it's terrible to me. So I can't
really.
I can't go back. My palate is already accustomed to for the evening for that kind of thing, and if I go to Bud Light, it doesn't work for me.
So I guess we just have different mindsets, because the way that I look at it as I need a couple good beers to get started and taste the flavor, but then when I've had a couple, it's like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. I can just drink whatever the hell I want now, and I can just down beer without even really tasting it.
So you've got your buzz with the more flavorful beers.
With the good beer, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll just drink Absence of Light all night long. That's what I'll do. So I don't like going to Bud Light after I've had something else. It don't work for me.
And I will say that when I go out with my buddies, whenever my friends and I are hockey teammates, we're getting a couple pitchers and stuff, I definitely drink Bud Light. I have no problem drinking Bud Light. It's just, like you said, I just have a lot of different beer that I like ahead of Bud Light.
Yeah, and I've said before on the show, I enjoy the Bud Light Orange, so which a lot of people do not like. I'm like, screw you guys, I like it. I don't care. What you like. There are people that like sour beers. I don't like those. There are people who like IPAs. I'm not a big fan of IPAs either. So to each their own. Mine, and I'm on my second one just now, is I've had this before on the show a few times, Sam Adams Cherry Wheat, which I enjoy. And I had M&Ms to pair with it, but they're now since gone. So M&Ms and cherry wheat. I mean, I've said this a number of times. There's, it's chocolate covered cherries. It's good.
Can't go wrong with that.
No. It's really a can't miss. I mean, really, just today in Blues history, courtesy of the @STL Blues History Twitter account, January 16th, 2019. As I try and read this while I open a beer with an opener. This is not a twist off. Glenn Hall, 1968. Glenn Hall was the first player to represent the St. Louis Blues in an all-star game on January 16th, 1968. He allowed 1 goal on 14 shots, which is damn good in an all-star game. The All-Stars lost 4-3 versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. Different era, different kinds of all-star games, different play. There was checking in those games. And 4-3 is very low scoring. That's unheard of nowadays.
Yeah, that's always an interesting thing you look at when you see that the old All-Star games I guess it was the home team versus the All-Stars?
For a while, wasn't it
the Cup winner?
For a while, it was the Cup winner that was
the
All-Star team. And the Maple Leafs won it in '67. Okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Stanley Cup winner, and I think that's an interesting take. Now, people this year, because those are paying attention to the standings outside of the Central, the Tampa Bay Lightning are just far, far beyond everybody else. The Toronto Maple Leafs are second in that division. They'd be first anywhere else.
Yeah.
And they're 16, 14 points back?
They are 16. 58 points for Toronto and 74 for Tampa Bay. That's redonkulous.
Ridiculous. So a lot of people have been saying, what if you took an NHL All-Star team from the West and played the Tampa Bay Lightning? What would that game look like? It might be a lot closer than people would think.
I mean, well, it depends. Are you playing for show or are you playing to win? If you're playing to win, Tampa Bay wins that game.
I think so. That's what I was thinking.
I think if you're playing without, without checking, without guys busting their ass, I think an all-star team might win.
Well, yeah, you're not going to have Ryan Callahan out there against Connor McDavid.
Yeah. 1966, January 16th, 1966. Curtis Joseph returned to St. Louis for the first time after being traded to the Edmonton Oilers. It's a dark period in Blues history as far as I'm concerned. Mike Keenan, being Mike Keenan, did not have the starting lineups announced that night for the Blues in their 5-1 loss. Just like, whatever. There was a newspaper article attached to it that Joseph was usually he didn't like pump his fist or celebrate a regular season win kind of like that, but he was very animated after that victory to kind of stick it to Keenan.
Can't really blame him.
No, Blues fans probably wanted him to win that game too.
Yeah.
God, Joseph is my all-time favorite Blues goalie.
I think he's one of the probably top 3 best players not in the Hall of Fame right now.
Yeah, he's. I think he's widely regarded as the best goalie to never win a cup too.
Yeah, I agree. He was a hell of a goalie. I was my heyday was more Grant Fuhrer, I guess. But my early years of being a Blues fan was Curtis Joseph's early years, and I remember just watching that guy and just the people doing the praise Joseph in the stands. We're not worthy. Oh, yeah. We're not worthy. I mean, that guy was phenomenal. He was so much fun to watch, and Mike Keenan just was Mike Keenan.
Yep. He Joseph won me over, I think, for good in the sweep of the Hawks in '93.
Yeah,
that was what did it for me. I was like that guy, and that's where he got a lot of the bows. We're not worthy from the stands. That's where I first saw that with him. It was fantastic.
That's one of the best series for a Blues fan. I wish I had those on VHS.
I was at Game 4. I have Game 4 on tape somewhere.
Find it and give it to me, and I'll upload it.
I might. I might upload it myself. If I can. Actually, I did. I digitized it. It's on DVD somewhere.
Okay. Well, there you go. Find it.
I will find it.
Yeah, I guess I'll kind of segue that into me promoting myself on YouTube. For those who haven't seen on YouTube, I'm obviously not doing it now because I'm not at home, but I've uploaded a bunch of old Blues games and even like the Dallas Stars and Buffalo Sabres game where Brett Hall scored the famous no goal in '99. But yeah, I've uploaded a bunch of full games. So if you're interested, check me out on YouTube over at JPonder94. Brent Johnson tweeted me because I had his first playoff start in there, and he tweeted me and was like, "Oh man, thanks for the memories. That was great." So that was pretty cool.
Brent Johnson smoked between periods.
Yep. It's like Sergei Zubov. Didn't he do that too for the Stars?
Did he? Oh, I mean, back in the day, they'd probably have beer between periods too. I mean, I can't imagine you see that anymore. That kind of thing.
No, definitely not.
I mean, hell, Brent Johnson, that's a 2000 era. So that's like, I mean, it's not that long ago.
Yeah. Hey, if you're finely conditioned, you can handle it. But I know I never could.
I guess it says a lot about air conditioning if you can, be a professional athlete and be a smoker. That's got to be crazy rough on the lungs.
Oh yeah.
So the Blues are well, I'll say this, the show title. Here Come the Blues. Standings. We're 5-2-1 in our last 8. Coming into tonight's games, the Blues are 4 points out of the last wild card spot, 5 points out of third place in the Central. Colorado currently holds that third place spot in the Central, and they are struggling, going 2-7-2 in their last 11. And we have games in hand, multiple games in hand on a few of the teams that we're chasing. So I mean, games in hand are that. I mean, that we always talk about games in hand, and they're pointless unless you win them. So I always like to look at if you win them, what do you get? And if we win our games in hand, we are a couple of points out of a playoff spot. So that's that is encouraging to say the least. I think it says two things: that the Blues have played better of late and made up some ground because the teams above us that we're chasing are not performing as well as they're kind of stuck in the mud a little bit. A couple teams are, so that helps.
That's kind of what you hope for when you see the start. I don't want to say even a couple weeks ago, because when they were right around dead last, all hope was lost. But I think when maybe mid-October, even maybe late October, we just kept saying, okay, this is the Blues hitting that just awful slide that every team hits in the middle of the season. But that you think, okay, well, other teams are going to falter, and maybe the Blues will have a strong November, they'll have a strong December. Well, that kind of went to the wayside, and they didn't play too well. But like you said, I mean, you're starting to see these teams kind of falter a bit. The Blues have had games in hand. They've been playing pretty much every other night, if not back-to-back, and they're getting points as they play. I mean, as you said, 5-2-1 in their last 8. And you look at the standings, the teams that are just above them in the standings, they still have games against most of those teams. And, you look at it and you say, well, yeah, they're only 4 points out, but, they got to climb many teams to get back into that number 8 spot. But a lot of those teams, they still play against. So if you win those games in hand and you win the games against the teams ahead of you, they do have a good chance to still make it.
Anaheim has lost 307 games in a row now. So we are they're helping us out.
And they made the playoffs last year.
yeah, they've lost 12. They've lost 12 in a row, and they are sinking like a rock. They're minus 30 in goal differential, which, to put that into perspective, LA, who is last overall in the West, they're minus 32 in differential. We're minus 11. So Anaheim is falling off the face of the map in a hurry.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you're looking at these other teams that they're kind of losing. I think they lost to Nashville recently. They lost to Winnipeg, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but you look at those losses and it's like, okay, go ahead and go ahead and win those games. Teams way above the Blues, because we're not going to catch you, but we're going to catch Anaheim. So keep them coming.
Yeah, they Anaheim, they lost to Detroit, which Detroit is they're struggling this year too. So they're what 43 points, minus 25 in goal differential. Well out of it. Let's say they're 43 points. The wild card is 56. They're 13 points out of a wild card spot right now. Detroit is. So it's looking grim for them. And Anaheim lost to them 3-1 just last night. So they're 13 points out of a wild.
Hey, that was you.
That was me. I was going to say, "Wow, you sound terrible."
No,
but that was me.
I am trying to turn on the YouTube chat. I'm working on a little different circumstances, obviously, with me not being at home. But yeah, I got to tell you, we're going to get into the Blues play here in a little bit, but obviously there's one guy that's kind of started playing games. They finally started playing him, and he's looked great. The other guy, Jake Allen, looked really good against Washington. And yeah, it's starting to come together, and we're starting to see this team actually play the way that a lot of us thought they would at the start of the year. And hey, if they can get hot now, I mean, well, I'll quote Doug Vaughn: if they can get hot, they can still win this baby.
Well, you know what? I mean, they've been trending their overall play. They've been trending up for more than just the past handful of games. I mean, they've been last 12, 13 games. They've been playing much better hockey. You haven't seen the awful breakdowns in front of the net. Guys all alone. We haven't gotten. When's the last time we lost 6-1? I mean, it's been a little while, right? So
yeah, I mean that's something we talked about a lot. Is the blowout losses that just made them not fun to watch. Well, we're not seeing those as much anymore.
Right. And they've been they're getting the results now. They're getting the points now, which is you can look at it one way or the other. I mean, it's you want to see them keep it up, but then you're almost dreading that they're going to fall back into bad habits from the way the season started, because we've seen two different teams this year. We've seen the St. Louis Blues that started the season, which was a god awful mess. They were not in sync. They were terrible. And then you've seen the recent Blues team that outplayed Washington and New York the past few nights. Got 3 out of 4 points on the road. And outplayed Washington the previous time they played them. They're beating some really good teams, and they're playing very well. So I think I'm hoping, like all Blues fans are hoping, that this is the team that we expected this season. And we're getting saves in net. Allen is when Allen's been playing, he's been playing better most of the time. Bobrovsky. Winnington has come in, and like you said, he's been fantastic in his handful of starts to start his NHL career in net as a starter. So can't ask for a whole lot more recently out of the Blues. Speaking of goaltending, which we've been getting good goaltending, like I said recently, Bobrovsky, trade rumors, and he's a guy that is interesting to me. That he's had some issues there in Columbus this year with his play. He's having a down year, but the team is actually in first place in their division. But he's a 2-time Vezina winner. He regularly gets Hart trophy votes. He's a guy that a lot of people are saying that might be up for a trade. He's had issues recently with what behavior attitude, which he apologized for. Got healthy scratch for it. And I think a lot of people are speculating he might be traded. So, which I'm not sure Columbus would do. I mean, if you want to talk about this,
I think they do now.
Now,
if you would have asked me a week ago, I would have said they're not going to. Now I think they are.
Well, okay? Well, if I would like to see that happen, because I think we would be at least in the conversation. But and Bill has arrived.
He's been here the whole time. What are you talking about?
He doesn't look like he's had dog puke on him at all. He changed. Doesn't smell like dog puke.
Well, he always looks beautiful.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're going, buddy.
We're talking. We just literally started talking Bobrovsky.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, about the welcome to the show, Bill.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome. Thank you for welcoming us to the show we've already been a part of.
Oh well, thank you. And welcome.
It's really great to be here.
What a day. Puppies are so much fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you really should give it a shoe to chew on, as opposed to, or a shoe to throw up in. That'd be nice. A little container for it.
That would have been nice. No, we, yeah. First trip with us in the car to the pet store, and it apparently doesn't travel well. So, So thank goodness for all weather mats.
So we were talking about the Blues goaltending, how it's been better, and obviously Winnington, but Bobrovsky, and how obviously it's not any secret that he may be traded. So
things aren't so good right now in CBJ land.
No, and he submitted a while back, before the incident happened, a couple of days ago. He had submitted a list of did you guys see that? He submitted a list of teams that he would approve a trade to.
I saw LeBron had something out there on Twitter, or somebody quoted something from a LeBron Athletic article.
Yeah, this was like a month ago that he submitted this list to the team. Now, whether or not they would trade him, that's anybody's. I mean, I don't know. But he said he'd be open to a trade to the right team. So he has like a full no trade. So that list he submitted is a kind of a big deal. So, which he's open to it. Now, if the Blues run that list, who knows? And so I don't know if Columbus would. I mean, I don't know if they would move him. I mean, they're in first place in their division, so they're not. It's not like they're out of the play.
Bill, I said that I think that if you had asked me a week ago, I would have said no, they're not going to move him. But I feel like recent events, they will move him.
Yeah, given who the coach is there, and that he doesn't mend fences after they've been knocked down, I I don't see Bobrovsky as staying there past trading deadline. I mean, he's UFA after this year or next year.
This year.
His contract's coming up, so they've got to get something for him because he's never going to play for Torts, and Columbus isn't going to fire Torts if they're going to the top of the division. I think they'll look to bring back a Hall. I think they're pretty happy with Korpisalo, right? That's the backup.
Yeah, they let's see. I'm looking at the Bobrovsky's game log.
Korpisalo's been playing really solid lately.
Yeah. So I mean, and to the point that at this point with the Bobrovsky incident, he's not a backup.
Bobrovsky, and he has been bad. Assuming maybe it's the defense,
right?
Right. I mean, goals against the last handful of games: 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 4. Good night. Save percentage. The only game he was he was only cracked 900 one time, and that was right at 900. And he's won 3 of those 6 games, which is crazy. So they're scoring some goals. So I mean,
but so let's take the Jake Allen argument everybody likes to make. You got to look at the body of work over the career.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, I'm never going to trade him.
Yeah. I'm not worried about this season. He's in,
Korpisalo's got like identical numbers to Bobrovsky.
So that speaks more.
I mean, they are really. Bobrovsky's got a 903 GA, 903 save percentage, and a 293 GA, and Korpisalo 902 and 294. They are literally almost identical. Now Bobrovsky's played 15 more games, but Korpisalo is 9-2 with a 902 save percentage.
Yeah, he's been great for him. Well, he's been very happy.
Well, he's winning. I mean, he's got almost a 3. His GA is almost like Jake Allen. His GA and save percentage are only a tick above Jake Allen's.
Yeah, but they've got a team that can score 5 goals a game.
8.99.
Yeah,
it's under 9,
which is he stops less than 90% of the shots thrown at him.
Right. That just goes. I mean, he's been good recently. The good last 12, 13 games
No.
overall.
Right.
But that just shows how bad he was to start the season.
At the beginning of the year.
Right.
Yeah. How many games did he throw up? Sub 75.
Oh God, it's awful. So, but so if Bobrovsky is available, would you want the Blues to be interested?
Yes.
Me too. I agree. I'm a huge Bobrovsky fan. I don't think he had a year very similar to this one, right before his last Vezina year. So I mean, I would not surprise me at all if he rebounded from this. And it was the last Vezina was what, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
So it's not that recent. I'm not that far away.
Yeah. I mean, I would rather. I mean, how many times have we said Jake Allen's run his race in St. Louis? He's never going to be successful here. It's time to move on. They made the wrong decision when they went with everybody else over Jake Allen over everybody else. And, he's at this point, we have to look at a long-term future. I mean, if you don't think that you're going to be able to sign him, if you think the dollars are going to be too much, because he's going to command a lot of money because he's a Vezina winning goalie.
He is 2-time.
Right.
But the thing is that this year, unless he rebounds and has a nice second half, I know that he still has the pedigree.
Somebody's going to overpay him.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, we're looking at you, is going to overpay him.
I'm not saying that they'd overpay him. What I'm saying is that I think this season may cost him a little bit of money.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, now if he were to be offered $8 million a year by somebody, if he had a good year, he may get $7 million next year. Something like that.
And I really don't think that wherever he goes this year, he's going to sign.
Isn't he making $7 million now? I think he's making $7 million now.
It's pretty hefty.
Yeah.
I mean, every EA Sports NHL 19 trade proposal I've seen is, well, you'd have to burn Steen and Allen's contract to bring him in.
Well, yeah. I mean,
I haven't sat down to look at
if
the numbers are. If you're
gonna, if you're going to move Bobrovsky, you're not going to keep Allen. Allen's leaving some way. I mean, that's $4 million plus there.
Well, I think that if you make that trade work, you're going to have to move some salary the other way. But you look at the Blues UFAs to make that work, and Jay Bomeister comes to mind. That's a guy that really is a rebounder. We talked about him last week, and a team like Columbus may be interested in. I know he has a no trade, but you move that UFA money out earlier, and all of a sudden you can make the cap work for Sergei Bobrovsky. He's
making just a tick under $7.5 million this year, and that's been his that's been his salary for since 15-16. Base his cap hit under 7.5, and his base salary is it doesn't matter. Cap hit 7.425. And before that, it was $900,000 a year. So he got paid with Columbus, yeah.
So he's not going to take any less than that, and I guess that's not. I mean, so what? O'Reilly and Tarasenko both make 7.5. They're our top paid players, or 7.5, or is it 8.5?
I think they're making 7.5.
They are making exactly correct. O'Reilly and Tarasenko 7.5.
So he's not going to take any less than that.
No, I wouldn't. Well, he's not going to ask. He's going to ask for more than that. Yeah,
right. But he's not going to take any less than what he's making now.
Depends on. I guess not.
I think you're right. You're right.
Someone will pay him more than he's making now.
Yeah.
But I think. Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Philly, I think, has regretted moving him ever since they moved him.
Oh God, with their goaltending this year, holy shit!
Yeah.
They've had what 7 goaltenders or something.
Yeah, they're one away from the record, I think.
Yeah,
they have half a season left.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean,
so for the record, I would be all for them bringing him in here if they could figure out a way to make it work.
I think if he wanted to come here, and if the Blues felt like, okay, we can afford to pay. He's not going to make $10 million a year. If he's going to make something that they think is that they could do, I'm sure that they could move salary. Like you said, Allen would not be here, and Bomeister's gone
after the season.
He may be gone at the deadline.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, depending on the situation.
Apparently, Hitchcock wants him in Edmonton.
No,
so he's been trying to get him for a little bit now.
Wow,
which
nice
for a guy that was rumored to have been almost waived earlier in the season. To be able to get something for him at the deadline, even though, I mean, let's give credit to Bomeister recently. He's been good.
No, absolutely.
He's been really good.
I forget what game it was, but all of a sudden that explosive stride returned to his game, and he was closing gaps and actually surprising everyone, joining the rush. I mean, that just. He's had a breakaway goal?
Yeah. A
bar down.
Nice one.
Bar down, baby.
Top shelf.
This is the guy that earlier in the year we said put him to pasture because he's an old horse that can't skate anymore. And all of a sudden that stride came back and his game came back.
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised at how he's played the past, 10 games or so.
As am I.
Yeah,
I'd say since December.
Yeah, okay, it's no coincidence that the team has played better either since he's played better. The defense has played better, and we're getting more points, and there's less blowouts, and it's more. Yeah, I'm waiting for. I almost feel like trading now. That's the way I feel.
No, I mean, I'm excited that his play's gotten better, and I'm impressed with his play. But to me, what I'm excited about is increase his value to somebody looking for a veteran defenseman at the trade deadline. And if Hitch is already out there looking for him, give him to him.
That's the rumor. And he only has one minus game in his last 11, and he's a +4 of that span. He's not getting outworked in front of the net, not missing assignments in front of the net like he was losing men. He's not kicking pucks in the net. His ice time is gradually increased. He's playing 23, 25 minutes a game. And get this, he's getting more points too. Like we talked about the goals. His first 25 games this season, he had 3 assists. In his last 16 games, he's had 2 goals and 5 assists, 7 points. So I mean, he's not tearing it up offensively, but he's getting points. So at a much quicker rate than he had been. So that's a nice thing too.
Yeah.
So yay, Bomeister. After we've ripped on you for years.
Yes, we do give credit where credit is due. And,
sure.
And he's deserving of praise right now.
We are realists on this show. And I believe me, I love talking about Blues players who are playing well. That's fun.
Yeah.
I hate talking about Blues players who are playing shitty.
So kind of on the same subject and a quick anecdote. I don't know if you guys mentioned anything about my Jumbotron.
No, not yet. No, that was
so,
go right ahead.
Yeah. So last week, Habs are in town. I wear my Canadiens jersey, sitting lower bowl, and the lookalikes come up. It's soccer night, and I'm an easy target, and everybody goes around. All the fans, they find the bearded guy that's Jurgen Klopp. They find the scruffy looking guy that's Diego Maradona, and then the last thing they put up was ugly Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'm on the Jumbotron. In my Habs jersey, getting laughed at and laughing along with it. It's all great fun. And
no one gets a picture of this or anything, right?
Yeah. So my softball team, half the guys on my softball team were there for a work event. So of course I heard all about it the next day. A guy that I work with told me he had his phone out, was getting ready to take a picture, and opted not to because he's a nice guy.
Oh, well, you could take the picture and then opt to delete it later. At least you have the option.
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe he did.
He
just
took the picture.
Yeah.
He took the picture. I mean, there's no film anymore. You're not wasting a photo. It's you can take as many as you want.
So anyway, the guys in front of me are laughing their asses off at me, and I tell them I do a fucking blues podcast. I'm a blues fan. I'm just, when the Habs are in town, I wear the sweater, and so they're having a good time. They've got a couple of them, and I had been talking with Julie, my girlfriend, about Jay Bomeister. Like at the beginning of the game, I said, Jay Bomeister over the last 3 or 4 games has really impressed me. His strides back. He's playing very well. Pretty much what I just said. Bomeister scores the goal. The guy sitting in front of me turns around and says, "Ugly Ronaldo knows what he's talking about."
I love that story.
Yeah,
so funny.
So hopefully he's listening tonight. If you are, join the chat. And, let us know, because I told him what the name of the show was, and we do a show, and it is awesome. If that's one way I can attract one listener,
okay,
I'm glad it happened.
And the show after you have this event, then you missed the beginning because you're cleaning up dog poop or dog puke.
Yeah, dog puke. Yes. Yes. Puppies are so much fun.
Oh yeah, puppies are great. Bob Rakowski in the YouTube chat says Bob's contract is up at the end of the season, end of the year, isn't it? Yes, it is. So it's and I don't think the Blues would be in the running for signing him as a free agent. I think their best bet is to trade for him and try and sign him. They're hoping they could get some kind of a mill off or something to, I don't know.
Get him here, go on a nice run, and see if he'll stay to play with Tarasenko.
Yeah. Man, would you rather have Bobrovsky or Panarin?
Quite honestly, Bobrovsky. I mean, the thought of Panarin and Tarasenko on the same line together, is so intriguing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still want the answer in goal.
I do too.
Because that's the thing that's plagued the Blues forever.
Yeah, I do too. I think he's the best bet as for the answer on goal, barring a surprising trade with somebody else that's we don't know is available right now. Because you don't get, I mean, goalies like this when they become available, it's not often. You don't. I think I said this a while back with Luongo when he was available. I'm like, it would be nice if they would go after him because you just don't see elite level goaltenders available that often at all. Teams hold on to them. And so when one's available, it's nice to try and go after him.
Yeah. I mean, the last time the Blues brought in so the last time the Blues brought in a guy that was an elite goalie was Ryan Miller.
Was he elite at the time? I mean, he was like
he was on
just
the down,
past his prime.
Right,
yeah,
right. He was just over the crest of the hill. But before that, it was really Grant Fuhr. I mean, you gotta go back that far.
And I'm going to say again, I have no shame in saying this. I loved the Ryan Miller trade at the time for a couple reasons. I mean, just because I think at the time it was Halak and Elliott, and I wanted Elliott to be the guy. I was an Elliott. I was team Elliott.
Oh,
so
I am. I
but
was and am. I don't think he could come in today and do what he did.
Yeah,
but if they would have let him go the next year, I think we would have had a hell of a lot better 2017.
Here's what the way that I took that whole situation with Miller was that if they were going to say, okay, it's either Halak or Elliott, and they chose Elliott, I'd say I don't want Ryan Miller. But they weren't going to give that number one job to Elliott that year. It was Halak or somebody else. And since it wasn't going to be, since they decided to go with Miller, then they're going with Miller and not Elliott. So it was either Halak or Miller in net for us, and I was like, okay, I'm fine with going with Miller. That was fine because they weren't going to give the job to Elliott. That Elliott was out of the picture, unfortunately. So if of the three, I would have chose Elliott, but of the two, Halak and Miller, I would have went with Miller. Didn't work out, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how many times I've said it, but I still think that Jarl Halak never got his chance to prove himself in the playoffs, which is why they brought him in the first place.
He was hurt. He was always hurt, except for the 1 year
that they elected to go Elliott over Halak. Right.
Right. He was no.
The first year,
the 1 year he played, he got hurt in the playoffs.
Right.
Every other year,
the first year, the first period of the first fucking game, Barrett Jackman ran his ass over, and that ended his playoff.
He had.
The next year they went with Elliott over him, and the next year they traded him for Ryan Miller. He never had his shot to win in the playoffs.
I thought he was hurt 2 years in the playoffs.
That may be true. I think he was here 4 years.
Yeah, so he was hurt 2 playoff years, and then Elliott 1 year, and then I don't know, whatever it was. Who knows? I mean, if he was healthy, maybe he goes on a run and like the Canadians that year. Who knows?
And he's an all-star.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's having a great year this year out of nowhere. My God.
Yeah. Well, time with a great defensive team.
Yeah, that's true. That helps.
A lot of young defense.
So Binnington and Allen. We'll talk about our goaltending that we actually have, as opposed to the guys that we either want or don't have or used to have.
We do spend a lot of time talking about the guys we want.
We did. Well, I mean, it is what it is. Allen got the start in Washington on Monday after we won 2 in a row, going for the third straight win, which had eluded us the first 4 times we tried to get 3 in a row. Social media didn't like the goalie choice when it was announced that Allen was going to start when he was first off the ice in practice. The first 10 seconds, I was like, come on. Binnington got the last 2 wins. Let him go for the third win to get that third win that that has eluded us this season. That he's earned it. Let him have it. And then I'm like, well, Allen did play really well versus Washington the last time they played. So and New York might be the tougher team of the two right now. In the next game, back to back. So one's going to play
statistically. Allen is terrible against the Isles.
Right. Yeah, that too. So I was fine. I was after I thought about it for 10, 30 seconds, 2 minutes. I was like, okay, that's fine. Whatever. We'll go with that. And it worked out great. 28 saves on 29 shots for Allen. Played very well. Finally won 3 in a row on the 5th attempt. Ovechkin scores on the power play to put the Caps up 1-0. And I want to clarify my Twitter comment on the show's account that I made.
Folks, you're about to witness a rare event.
No, well, I caught a lot of flack for it, and I was wrong about it. My initial statement was based on the idea that I thought that Allen was over and set for when the shot was taken. And I was watching the game on the treadmill, and I saw the replays that they showed, and I thought he was set. And so the next morning, I pulled up the video on NHL.com, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm looking at this closer. I'm going to slow it down and look at it, and I even frame by frame looking at it, I'm like, he's not set. He's still sliding over when the shot's taken, and it beat him near post. And everyone knows Ovechkin has a laser shot. Here's the thing, though. My initial statement, I mean, I was wrong about where Allen was, but my initial statement, which I still think people missed my entire point behind the whole thing, was if a goalie is set and square, no screen on that shot from that location on the ice, he should stop it every time. He's not moving. I don't care who's shooting it. I don't care if it's McKinnon shooting it. That's far enough out. He's set. He's an NHL goalie. He's stopping that shot 9 out of 10 times at least. I mean, is that crazy to say, or do you agree, disagree, or I mean, is it? If you're set and you're a goalie, an NHL goalie, no screen, and it's from outside the faceoff dot. What are you saying? That angle? It's that angle. It's not even. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Argue with me. Go ahead if you want to argue. Go ahead. Let's argue. Let's debate.
There are a couple of guys in the history of the league that have such perfect shots, such very accurate and very hard shots that I'm going to give goalies a break more often than not. I mean, Jocelyn Thibault, ask his thumb. McInnes can fucking shoot the puck.
Well, breaking your thumb is a bit of a different story. You're breaking a body part and the puck goes in. I understand that's going to go in. But
I guess my point is that I think there are guys who, why is that lane always open? Because the defense doesn't want to get in front of that damn shot.
Well, the thing too is that he sets up so far outside. There were a number of people saying, "Put a man on him, put a man on him." Well, you're playing a box on the penalty kill, and you can't. Ovechkin is so good that he can score from outside traditional shooting area. He's outside the dot. You're not going to put a guy out there on him. That's ridiculous. You're not playing man to man on the power play, the penalty kill. And so you know what I mean? You can't put a guy on him. You can put a guy in the passing lane, kind of like they showed it. Right. O'Reilly was there. O'Reilly had a stick in the passing lane, and they passed up the shot to Ovechkin the first time. They worked the puck down low. I took a shot, and the Blues rotated a little bit, and Sundqvist was then the guy who was not over far enough, did not have a stick in the passing lane. Then they passed it to Ovechkin, and he scored. So that was really, I mean, if Sundqvist is over farther with a stick in the shooting lane or the passing lane, maybe they don't make the pass to him. Maybe they do. It's a stick. I mean, they're probably going to take over anyway. But yeah, that was kind of interesting because just kind of goes to show I don't think people understand how teams set up on the penalty kill. And to be honest, just put him in on him. Yeah, like no team's ever thought of that. Oh my gosh. Ovechkin's been in the league how long? He scored how many goals from over there? And there's a reason why teams don't put a guy on him out there, because you can't do that. That opens up way too much other too many of the passing lanes are the people down low. You're outmanned badly in front of that. Then you can't do that.
Well, and I mean, you said it, Kurt, that these people, people would say that, well, why do you leave them open over there? Well, you know what? It's the way that pin and kill works. You can't get around it. Like you said, I mean, he's doing this to 30 teams in the NHL. He's not just doing this to the Blues. He's not, just picking nights where he's doing it. I mean, he's doing it consistently, constantly one of the leading power play goal scorers. Yes, it's the same goal over and over, but that's why you have practice. I mean, the Capitals know how to work the puck, get the Blues moving, get the other team moving, the penalty kill moving to where Ovechkin's going to get open enough just to get that shot off, and he's going to take it, and he's going to hit the net 9 times out of 10. I mean, you could talk about Brett Hull. You think back in those terms, every time that guy got the puck in the slot, it was in the back of the net. Well, that's the slot for Ovechkin. That spot is where he scores. I mean, I'd love to see a heat map on his goals. I'm sure there's one that exists.
That's his spot.
It's that spot every time.
And the thing is that there's a YouTube video out there of his all the goals from his spot through last season, I guess, something like that. And almost everyone is where he shoots from outside the dot. From that far out, like he did on Allen and beat Allen. Almost every one of them, the goal is moving. That's the thing. That is how you score a lot of goals on NHL goalies when they're moving. When they're set, they're much harder to beat.
Right. And I mean, so the Caps have 2 top quality centers that they run on that power play with Kuznetsov and Backstrom. Backstrom usually gets the wall, and Kuznetsov is down below the goal line, and they work that way. They rotate everybody away. They get people distracted and forgetting about Ovechkin on the other side, and eventually they work it back through Carlson or whoever's on the point, and Ovechkin winds up open. I mean, that they have enough offensive creativity on their power play that you can't just throw a guy at him and play man on man the entire time. They'll tear you apart.
Rick Allen's Mask in the YouTube chat says, seeing Kurt admit he was wrong about the Ovechkin goal made my day.
You don't see Kurt admit he's wrong often.
Right? Well, you have to be you have to be wrong often to admit you're wrong often. I admit I'm wrong when I am. Why not? I don't care.
I will admit, man, I was actually surprised when you took that stance. I thought, man, I wanted to lance you. I wanted to go after you.
You know what though? I just saw the replay wrong. I don't think I was wrong about my thinking on the play necessarily. I just saw it. If
you would have seen the play correctly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I had gone to my computer and looked the video like I should have before going off on it, and actually made sure what I saw is what I saw, then I probably wouldn't have said anything about it. But
you uninformed tweeter,
right? Exactly.
You're a keyboard warrior, is what you are.
You know what? I will say though that, I mean, if Allen's set, I think it's a puck that probably should be stopped. But
again, I mean, I mentioned that
I know, and that's really hard to get set on that play. I understand that. That's why he scores so many from there, because you're passing across, one timer goal sides across. It's really hard to get set. So
yeah, I mean, and we mentioned how many times he scores from that spot.
Right. Watch
that play develop. Every single one of those goals, it's going to be the same thing. The goalie's got to move from his left to his right, and it's just he gets it off so fast, it's hard to react.
Do you know what bothered me about a lot of the comments I got though? Is I think a lot of the comments were, it's Ovechkin. It's Ovechkin. Well, I understand he's a phenomenal generational talent, one of the best goal scorers of all time. I understand that, but I mean, he shoots a ton. The goalies make a ton of saves on him too. Not everything that goes off his stick goes in. That's the impression I get from a lot of people. Well, it's Ovechkin shot it goes in. You just toss your hands up, and say it's Ovechkin. Well, not always. I mean, there are some goals that can be stopped that he shoots. I mean, let's be honest. He's not a perfect 100% shooting machine where everything he shoots goes in. I mean, come on.
I think about half of those people are probably a lack of characters, a lack of wanting to type it out. That's the kind of shot he'll score on.
Yeah.
But I think you're right on the other half. I think the other half are just saying, well, Ovechkin's going to score every time he shoots.
I understand.
Not really true.
I totally get that sentiment. I'm not an idiot. Ovechkin's, he has an outside shot if he plays long enough to break the all-time goal scored record. I mean, probably not going to happen, but I mean, it's been discussed this season. So I mean, I get it. I'm not.
I don't know. I could totally see him going Yager and trying to play until he's 48.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he's won. Yeah.
He's won the cup.
Well, he has to score like 50 goals a season for like 6 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's got to be. He's got a few hundred to go yet.
He might be able to.
I'm not saying he can't. I mean, the guy is crazy, but I just that's a pretty tall task.
And you got to figure. I mean, he has the potential to put up 60 this year, and if he's still going the same way next year, maybe the same. Then all of a sudden, you're talking in 4 years, scoring 40 goals a year.
He's old enough to that when you look this up and you find out you're gonna have that. God, I'm old.
He's only 33.
Yeah, he's young.
Alex Ovechkin is only 33.
What
to me, he's always going to be that 18-year-old guy.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that I think they said, and I don't have the numbers in front of me. I think that they said something like averaging 50 goals a year for the next six years, something like that would get him right there with the all-time goals scored record, with Gretzky's record. And that would put him at almost 40 years old. So he'd be breaking the record about 40. So,
but if he does what Bill says and plays 45, 46, then you're talking, okay, he just has to score 30 goals on average a year.
You know what, though? I mean, he plays a little bit different style. I'm actually shocked and surprised he hasn't gotten hurt more than he has. He leads their team in hits. He's a very aggressive player. Throws his body around. You got to think when you're getting older, it's gonna catch up with you eventually, right?
Yeah, but I think he has softened a little bit. I don't think watch how reckless he was 10 years ago. That's not him anymore.
But he still leads his team in hits, though.
Yeah, but a couple years ago, I think you saw him that balls out every single shift attitude took a toll on him, and he started becoming he started evolving and being a more focused player.
Bob Bukowski said in the YouTube chat, Ovi aged 5 years after the cup celebration, though.
Well, that's a good point.
Right. He had a time.
Yeah. But I also think that reinvigorated his love for the game.
Maybe, yeah, true. If he didn't have a couple down years there, he had a couple of years where he only had like 30-some goals.
Yeah. So let's see. So he's 33 now. If he plays until he's another 12 years, we'll say he plays till he's 45 and breaks the record with the Houston expansion franchise.
He's got 640. He's got 640 goals. What's the record? 980 something? Is that what it is? 9.
Is it?
I don't know. Gretzky's got
6.
It's 900 something.
The record's 6.
6 goals.
I don't know. That's a stat that we as hockey podcasters should know off the top of our heads.
I'll just look at Gretzky's numbers. That's Gretzky's stat. Gretzky has it is 894.
Yeah,
so
I didn't think it was over
900. Near 900. So basically, he has to score 900 goals, and so he only needs 260. 260. So 5 years, averaging 50 a season, will get him right there.
If the Capitals,
52. You'd have to get 52 a year.
If the Capitals want him to do this, they're going to have to acquire an elite center to put with him. I'm thinking there's a guy named Yori Laterra who's available.
He got kicked out of the game tonight. Boarding.
I thought it was coking.
He was coking on the boards. Anyway, we got off track with our goaltending.
We just had a 20-minute conversation about Ovechkin.
Yeah. Allen is this close to getting his save percentage back to 900 and his GAA under 3. with his recent good play. And Winnington is 3-0-1 with a 1.55 GAA and a 9.37 save percentage. The only 2 goals Winnington has allowed in regulation as a starter were a redirection off Petrangelo and a questionable goal interference play from last night, whereas Pat was pushing that which the team in front of them was playing better, which helps tremendously. Defense has been stingier. We talked about the team playing better, more responsible in front of the net. Forwards back checking better. High danger area scoring chances are fewer. Yeah, they're playing much better in that respect too. So that's all of that adds up to the Blues winning, getting more points.
Parayko's ice time's up. Petrangelo's is down.
That does help.
Yeah.
But I mean, Petrangelo, we'll talk about Vince Dunn a little later, but Petrangelo has not looked comfortable with the puck all season.
No, he's. I mean, I've talked at length about how much he overhandles the puck whenever he gets it. He overthinks it every time the puck gets on his stick. There was the one game he had 2 one-timers in a shift, and it was just like, okay, he just doubled the amount of one-timers he's taken this entire season.
I remember that. I thought the exact same goddamn thing when I saw it. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He's not a quick release guy. He always thinks it. And like I said, I think last show, that's great in the defensive zone. A lot of guys, their first instinct is just to rifle it away. He's the kind of guy that will take it, make it an extra play to get himself space, but the opposite happens on the other end of the ice. He makes an extra play and the space goes away. And that is the key to why I think Parayko should be our number 1 power play defenseman, because he will shoot the damn puck.
And maybe number 1 overtime defenseman, which we'll get into.
Ding, ding.
So Binnington got the start. Well, the previous game, we talked about Ovechkin's goal. Blues scored 4 unanswered. Played very well. Actually, I thought the Blues were kind of lucky. You guys remember the puck Jake Allen lost in front of him that he couldn't find, and it was a nice back check, little stick check to prevent basically a tap in goal.
Yeah.
So I think if that goes in, that game might be a different story. It'd been 2-0 Washington, but after that whole series and to be honest, it was a little bit of a shaky start for Allen with the goal against the penalty kill. Again, we've established not his fault.
Right. Right.
But he did. I mean, there was that play where puck he couldn't find. So, but after that, everything settled down. He played fantastic the rest of the way. Blues scored 4 unanswered. 3 in the second, 1 in the third. Barbashev, Dunn, Perron, and Tarasenko scored. Blues win 4-1.
I think what was it? Barbashev that scored the first goal.
Yep.
I think once he scored, that's when Jake Allen took a sigh of relief. He had that one that really should have been a goal that his defense helped prevent, and then they go down, score a little later, and that's a 1-1 game. I mean, that's huge, and I think that is what gave him confidence the rest of the way. And I mean, that's the kind of thing you really haven't seen from this team a lot. When I mean, again, I know that it's not like these were back-to-back goals, but you see a play like you see him go down 1-0. You see a play where honestly 10 games ago they probably go down 2-0, and then they're out of the game. I mean, that's it. Done for dinner. They're done. But now, the Blues, like I said, the Blues come back, make it 1-1. I think that right at that point was when Allen really started looking comfortable in the net, and then the Blues go out and score 3 more goals. I mean, that was exactly how you want this team to play. And again, kind of what we thought we were getting out of this team when the season started.
Right. So I turned on the game late. I didn't see the Ovechkin goal happen live. So I turn it on. I look up at the screen. I see it's shots 8-2 for the Blues, 1-0 Washington. Like, holy fuck. And then the play,
it was their second shot. Yeah.
Right. And then the play that you just mentioned where he doesn't know where the puck is in front of him and Washington could have easily gone up.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, it must have been an awful goal. And I went back later and watched it. No, it's Ovechkin.
Right.
on the power play, uncovered.
Right.
It's a goal.
Where Jake Allen,
Right.
it has been established, was moving.
But yeah, and I think to Jeff's point, he got comfortable. That's the biggest thing that I saw between him and Binnington. Binnington looks comfortable when he's in the net. Allen, for the most part of the season, has not looked comfortable. But after that point in the game, after the Blues tied it up, he did.
Yep.
And I think that it's a confidence thing with him. And
which, I mean, no, I agree.
I think it's a confidence thing with the entire team.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think it's confidence, and it's confidence with Allen. It's the team's confidence in Allen that has been a roller coaster.
I hate using the hockey cliche, fighting the puck, but that's exactly what Jake Allen was doing most of the season. I mean, and you ask, what does that mean? Well, it means, he's just trying to flop his body in front of the puck. He's not playing a certain style that's working for him. He's not getting his rebound. He's not, he's making these weird looking unorthodox saves when he does save the puck. But you didn't see that the rest of this game. That was, I thought, I think it was a Chicago game that he played really well earlier in the year when he made like 40 saves. That, and then this Washington game, I thought probably the best he's looked all season. And you got to wonder, I mean, I know we're going to talk about a little bit more about Binnington here in a bit, but you got to wonder, he's seeing this kid come in, stealing his job again, and all of a sudden he has a good game again. I mean, he thrives on competition in net, obviously. I mean, that's when he plays his best hockey. So hopefully Binnington keeps him honest.
Jake Allen's mask in the YouTube chat says Tom Wilson with his uncharacteristic sucker punch. On Edmonton. Yeah, Edmonton did a good job not to
retaliate,
take another penalty there. I mean, Wilson went off for his penalty, and Edmonton went off too. I think both were roughing, but yeah, that was he gives Edmonton a sucker punch in the face, and then puts his head down and then in his chest like he's just battling. I'm like, come on.
But hockey needs more guys like that.
Right. That's a good hit. That's a clean hit. Binnington get the start versus the Islanders last night. He played really well. 23 saves, 25 shots. Everybody scored in the first for the Islanders. The Blues challenged this for goaltender interference. Thoughts on the call? Because when I first saw this, I'm watching this with my kids, and they're eating dinner. I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, watch this, guys. They're gonna overturn this because the stick pushed Binnington's pad into the net, and then they put the rebound in after, so that shouldn't be a goal. And then they reviewed it and they called it a goal, and I was really shocked. I thought there was more than enough contact with a stick pushing the pad in the goal, even though the puck was right there. You still can't push the pad in the net. That's the way I saw it. How did you guys see that?
So the way that I see it is there's two questions here, and it's with every goal. Should it have been a goal? And do you think it should have been a goal? Should it have been a goal with goalie interference? There's no answer to that question. The NHL has been way too inconsistent on that call. When I saw it, my initial reaction was actually the opposite of yours. It was, okay, that's not goalie interference. That's a clean play. But then as I watched more replays, I thought, you know what? I have seen that goal called back before. So I don't know. I don't know which one this way is going to go. And now the question that I'll answer, do you think it should have been a goal? I do think it should have been a goal. I don't like that type of goalie interference. I don't think yes, it hinders the goalie, and maybe Bill will have a better explanation about this, but yes, it hinders the goalie, but I also think that's kind of part of hockey, and I'm okay with that play. I'm okay with a guy's stick kind of making a little bit of contact with the goalie before the puck goes in. So I was okay with the goal call, but if you're asking the question, should it have counted? Nobody can answer that question, including NHL referees.
Well, I don't think I don't think that should come into play at all. Whether you think it should be a goal, I'm based on the rules. I'm just going based on how things should be called, based on the.
And I'll agree with you, but Again, you look at how it's been called this year and the year before.
Oh, it's
There's
terrible.
no consistency.
Oh, it's awful.
Go back to Jake Allen and Boston.
Yeah,
3.
right.
Since that point, it's
Oh, I
been
know.
out the window.
I
What
know.
is goalie interference?
Yeah, nobody
A
knows.
guy completely knocking him 15 feet away from the goal is not goalie interference. Okay, then there is no clear definition of this. That said, let me rebut to Jeff here. I don't ever want you playing defense if that's what you believe, buddy. I don't want to be my defenseman. If you think it's okay for a guy to push my pad and get me off balance and to a point where I can't make a save.
To me,
No, listen. A guy does that, and I'm playing defense, I'm knocking his ass on the ground. But as a guy who wants to score goals, I'm going to do that every chance I get to a goalie.
yeah, but I think the question that needs to be asked with this is that did the stick knock the goalie off balance to the point where he couldn't make the save?
Yes.
And I think he pushed his pad into the net, sliding his pad in the net, and he's down, and therefore he's not in position to make the save on the rebound.
Right. I thought that the question that the review answered was that he didn't push the puck into the net, not that he didn't.
But they reviewed
right. I thought they reviewed the wrong. I mean,
because
it seemed like,
but when they announced there was a challenge, they said it's for goaltender interference.
Right. But I don't think they answered that question.
What did they say when they had the ruling? I didn't even catch it.
Yeah, just
there
was no goaltender interference on the play. It's a good goal.
See, but
I think that's all they said.
I mean, you've seen some pretty ticky-tack goaltender interference this season too. I mean, and you've seen some stuff that is like, oh my god, why wasn't that called? This isn't an oh my god.
No, it's gray area.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
It's gray area only because I think that maybe they took into consideration that okay, he didn't do it on purpose, or he wasn't pushing his pad into the net because I don't know what they're. I'm trying to speculate on what they were thinking, but to me,
he caused Winnington not to be able to make the save.
I think he caused him enough,
right? And he didn't have a play on the puck.
And Winnington right away jumped up and said and complained about it. So I mean, yeah, who knows if he makes the save, if he doesn't get pushed. But there was contact.
So I think that's where maybe we differ here then, because I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I mean, we all know that when you're on the ice, things happen too quickly, but it's hard for me to say. But I looked at that play and I said, I don't think that was enough to cause him to go off balance and not make the save. But I know others saw it differently.
Well, I know when he pushed his pad, his skate was off the ice. When he got his stick under his pad, and his pad was no longer on the ice. So there was nothing to stop him from sliding back in the net farther. So he literally moved Winnington. So now if you're asking me, should that be a rule? Should that kind of a play, that be goaltender interference? That's a different question. But I think, unless it wants to be explained to me differently, I think, I don't know. All
right, I'm going to rewatch the goal. Maybe I saw it differently.
When you watch it, see if you can. Maybe I'll watch it again because I was wrong about the Ovechkin thing. Maybe I saw it wrong when I replayed
it. Kurt was wrong once.
But
now he's going to be wrong all the time.
I'm just saying that when you watch it, I forgot whose stick it was that was there, but
Anders Lee.
Okay, his stick, it goes under his pad and pushes Allen's pad back in Binnington's pad back in the net, where his skate and his pad are off the ice. So there's nothing. He can't stop himself from moving back into the goal a little bit farther. So that's what I saw. Then they scored right after, which to me was a no-brainer. I thought for sure they would say no goal. But anyway. Watching it?
I am. Can you hear it?
I can. You let me know what you think when you see it.
Sorry, I didn't know. Why can you hear that? That's not right.
And do you have the express written consent of the New York Islanders?
Yeah, dude.
Or St. Louis Blues?
Sorry, Islanders. Sorry, Blues. I'm going to mute my mic and watch it, all right? Hang on. No, go ahead and continue with the show.
Well, Prawn scored with 6:07 to go in the game to tie it at 1-1. So this was a really good game. I thought the Blues played a really good road game.
Yeah.
Here, I thought
on back-to-back nights.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Against a really good team, back-to-back nights against a good team in their building, to outplay the Islanders. Leonard, and when did it become Leonard? Was it Lehner?
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, everyone says Leonard now.
Yeah.
I thought it was Lehner. But Leonard played very well. Both teams I thought played good. I thought the Blues had the Blues had the better of the play. They earned that game. They earned that 2 points, but they didn't get 2 points.
Yeah. I think even the Islanders broadcasters said as much.
Yep, they did.
Yeah,
they said that. Yeah, they said I'm not sure if the Islanders deserve these 2 points, but we'll take them.
All right, hey Bill. Just want to point out it's your turn to be wrong because I was wrong. I just rewatched it.
Yeah.
Kurt, you're right. He does push his stick enough to where he can't. Yeah. Can we edit the podcast where nobody hears how dumb I sounded earlier?
Jake Allen's mask said our D-man was tangled up with Anders Lee, which adds a factor to it. I don't think so.
Our defenseman didn't push him into it.
Yeah, I think our defenseman would have to push him into him, and I'm not sure that was. It's still his stick though, and I'm not. Rewatch it again, Jeff. Was our defenseman a factor in pushing him into the goal?
No, he wasn't. He was actually trying to push him out of the goal.
Okay, well,
who was that defenseman?
It was Bomeister. Honestly, though, Bomeister he played it well.
Did the right thing. Jay Bomeister did the right thing. He was trying to keep him off the goalie instead of pushing him into the goalie. So right there, I think just karma awards that decision to the Blues. If the world is a just place.
The very nice play by O'Reilly to Perron to tie that game with 6 minutes to go. My God.
So
fan-fucking-tastic. That was so bang. I didn't even know what happened.
Yeah.
Like the puck was in the back of the net, and I was like, did they just score?
Yeah.
So we didn't talk at all about Perron's goal against the power play goal against Washington. Or not Perron, Tarasenko's. O'Reilly.
Oh.
The work that he did behind the net on Niskanen, was it? Just completely outfought him.
Fantastic.
He didn't have the better of the position, but
he worked for it. Yeah.
Completely outworked him and found Tarasenko, who had the best shot he's had all fucking season.
He also had a day and a half to pick it.
Right.
But and when he had that play, I'm like, shoot it. Fucking shoot the goddamn puck.
And then he picks the corner.
He does
better than he has
through the defenseman's legs.
God,
pick the corner. That is, I tweeted that out. That's how you fucking pick a corner.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're at the top of the crease, you're not stopping that puck.
Yeah.
So that was beauty shot.
Yeah, but O'Reilly, both of those goals set up from behind the goal line and great passes.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't give a shit what the Buffalo fans say about, oh yeah, O'Reilly, just wait. Fuck that shit. He's fucking amazing. He
has been hands down our best player.
Anybody I don't give a fuck how well Thompson pans out, or the draft pick they got. I don't give a shit. That O'Reilly, we stole him from Buffalo. He could be half the player he is.
How's Patrick Berglund work out there for you?
O'Reilly could be half the player he is now, and we'd still have won that trade.
Mm-hmm.
And you know it's funny though. You think back, Buffalo fans saying that about O'Reilly more so than any we've had before. But you think about Shen when Shen was acquired. Flyers fans were saying, "Oh, just wait." Well, guess what? We're still waiting for both these guys to do something wrong, and they haven't.
I know. I don't get it.
Patrick Berglund is out of the league, and Yuri Laterra is going to prison.
We were right. Was that with Laterra? I was like, oh god, Laterra. Oh no, guys, you don't know.
No.
And Berglund's like, yeah. I mean, I don't think you're not. You didn't get fair return for O'Reilly. I'm sorry. I mean, I know you got the pick, and I know you got Thompson was the best player in the whole deal, I think, and he's not panning out yet. So. Whatever.
Well, he's panning out better than Berglund or Saboka.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah.
And Philippo scores a minute 37 into OT. This blew up Blues Twitter. Dunn's turnover to start overtime, basically.
Yeah.
Drop pass, and apparently, Blues Twitter do not want the Blues to make any more drop passes ever, because people are like, "See, this is why drop passes are terrible." Like, you're never going to get rid of drop passes in the NHL.
It's not, but the Blues
it was
use
a bad
it to a fault.
Well, here's the deal.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Here's the deal, though, is that they don't. Everyone's hating on the drop pass. They don't fucking hate drop passes. You're saying it wrong. You hate bad decisions. Drop passes are fine in the right situation, but
the Blues
overuse it all the time.
Well, you
get
see
on the power play.
You see drop passes all the time on 3-on-3 because there's so much open ice.
Not in your own zone, though.
I'm not saying that was a good play at the time. I'm saying drop passes in general are fine, but just be smart. Any play, be smart about when you make any pass.
Yeah,
that's become a Blues breakout strategy. Is defenseman carries it up, drop passes. Defenseman carries it up, drop passes.
You know who does that?
See it all game.
Subban comes to center, turns around. Well, not drop pass. He turns around and passes it.
Yeah.
Just gets backwards for a few strides.
It's just I don't like it. I mean, listen, Kurt, I'm with you. You know, it's an effective play if you use it correctly. The Blues use it. I mean, 5 out of 10 breakouts. I mean, the teams are reading that.
And that to me, that's more of a bad decision. I think it's like any play. If you use it in the wrong situation, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But anyway,
they use it. Whatever the percentage is, if it's 50% or greater, they use it so often that it's predictable, and teams have started picking them off. And that was the worst, the least opportune time to do that at the beginning of overtime, and the Blues couldn't get a fucking change.
It was a bad turnover, but the thing is that didn't lose us the game. That because the goal happened a minute 37 later.
Yeah, but they had possession the whole time.
Guys were on the ice.
I understand that. They could have made a change earlier, because when the Islanders changed, the Blues could have gotten a couple guys off, and they didn't do it. They chose not to, because the Islanders were making a change, and the Blues had the chance to, and they chose to stay on. I thought, oh, this would be interesting, because they could have changed there and they didn't do it. They could have got one guy off at least. They didn't do it. So, and then all of a sudden, was it Schwartz, Dunn, and who else was on? O'Reilly to start the overtime?
Yes, I think so.
Yep. First off, I have no problem with Dunn playing in overtime. I don't. But to me, the defenseman I want in overtime to play as much as possible is Parayko. I want him to start overtime and to play over half the overtime. That's what I want. I want him on there because he's one of our fastest skaters, the biggest stride. He's on a roll recently, and he's got fantastic, the best offensive instincts of all of our defensemen. I don't know why he doesn't start every overtime for us.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I'm to get back to the play real quick. Is that okay? Bad decision, yes. I mean, we can argue about the drop pass all day, but yeah, that was, and to your point, why I'm kind of bringing it back to this play. I don't think Parayko makes that play. We've seen Vince Dunn make plays like that, and I'm fine with him getting overtime time. I mean, he's a good offensive defenseman. Usually makes the right play. That was just stupidity on his part. He wasn't thinking, I guess, when he made that play. But yeah, I mean, I think Parayko, he's such a smooth skater. He's smart with the puck. And I hate to make this comparison, but we've talked about it before. With the puck, I think he's got a lot of the smarts that you saw in Chris Pronger. That's really the only that's where the comparisons end for me. But he's a smart player with the puck. So yeah, I think in a situation like that, you're not seeing Parayko make that play. And honestly, I think most defensemen on the team aren't making that play. That was just a boneheaded decision by Dunn. But I'm with you. Parayko should start overtime every game. There's no reason why he shouldn't.
Yeah, I think you want to get him the most time in overtime as possible, and to do that, you start him in overtime. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not against playing Dunn in overtime. He's a fantastically offensive-minded defenseman. But yeah, Parayko is the guy I'm going with. He's just
Parayko and O'Reilly should be getting the majority of the overtime.
Oh yeah, Parayko is like the perfect overtime defenseman to me. He's fast. He's big. He's got a long reach. He's offensive minded. he can pull off going end to end. I don't. Yeah, that's a no brainer to me. And there was on Filippo's goal, there was done. Okay, and so Twitter was all over Dunn for two reasons: the pass and then the line change, which you see this often. A team shorthanded or trying to make a line change, or a guy with a broken stick who doesn't have a stick tries to get to the bench, tries to gamble and get to the bench and get a stick or make a line change. So the Blues aren't, so the team's not outnumbered on a rush. This didn't work for Dunn. He went to the bench and they came in 2-on-1. And everyone's all over Dunn. I'm not, and I tweeted this out, I'm not so quick to be all over Dunn for this. I mean, chances are the bench was calling him over to make a change. That happens a lot. I don't know that for a fact in this case in particular, but it happens a lot where the bench will yell to a player, come on, get off. And that could have been the case, and he could have been following orders to make a line change. So it was not a good change, but I don't know if it was on him or on the bench.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't on the same page with most of the team, though. I mean, from the drop pass to that. I mean,
no. It wasn't even so much with the team. There was a guy he passed it right to him. So it was like, yeah. I mean, there was a defenseman back there on the other side of the Islanders player, but yeah, it was not a good overtime.
No,
we never had the puck. Well, we had the puck for the first 10 seconds. That was
until he gave it away.
Right. And never got it back.
Yeah. But all good things come to an end.
Well, we were trailing going into the third.
Yeah.
And
you know what? I got to just be happy they got a point.
Well, here's the deal. I'm happy they got the point because they've got 5 out of the last 6 points, which is great. But you could say, well, we were trailing on the road against a really good team, and in the third period, and we got a point. That's good. However, on the other hand, we really outplayed the team and deserved 2 points. So, yeah, happy to get a point in one respect, but then it's frustrating not to get the second point because you really deserved it.
Well, and something we've all three of us bitched about in the past too is that we're sick of having the excuse of, well, the other goalie just stood on his head. But honestly, in this game, I'm okay with it because I thought the Blues goaltending was solid. And when you have a good game of goaltending, it's okay. I mean, the other goalie's outmatching the other goalie, and then the other goalie makes a save the other goalie wouldn't have made, and it's back and forth, and it's just beautiful hockey to watch. So for me, it's a lot easier to swallow the pill that the other goalie stood on his head when your goalie did the same thing.
I'd much rather see a 0-0 1-1 goaltender duel where both guys are shutting the other team down, as opposed to a 5-5 game, 7-6 game.
Yes.
Yeah, that to me, that's so much more suspenseful. Like
we might be the only 3 people on the planet that think that way.
Oh, it's like who's going to break through first? Who's going to get that goal that nobody can get in this game? And it's just so much more exciting when it happens because finally you got one, and it's the game winner 2-1 in overtime or whatever.
Right. I mean, to me, the ultimate. I'm at a loss for words doing a podcast. This is a bad thing, right?
It's not good radio.
I think the best example from my hockey watching memories of that is going back to the Flyers Penguins game that went 7 overtimes.
Yes,
we went.
Wasn't that like 5-5 or something? It was
like 4-3 was the final.
Okay,
I think.
All right.
But so you had goals in regulation, but then you had more than 2 games of overtime played without a goal scored. God, that was the most exciting hockey I have ever seen in my life. I guess the sudden death aspect adds to it. But
I have a good that game. I turned it on right when the first overtime started. I thought, oh man, I missed a good game so far. And
you
well,
saw two more
at least I'll
games.
see the end of it. And I saw 6 periods of hockey after that. It was so great. I called my cousin. I'm like, hey, the Flyers Penguins game's in overtime. I'm gonna turn it on. Okay, turns it on, and I'm like, yeah, you never know in the playoff. That's why the NHL playoffs are the best of any playoffs ever. I mean, not even close.
Yeah.
Because you get shit like that just is amazing.
So it was Ken Reggett was in net for Pittsburgh, and it was
Oh, it was
Primo.
Barrasso. Was it Reggett?
I thought it was Reggett.
Okay.
And, I forget who was in goal for Philly.
Because
Primo.
yeah.
Robert Esch.
Primo scored.
No, you may be right. It might have been Robert Ash.
I think it was Robert.
Primo that got the game winner. Primo,
I can
whose
spell.
kid just backstopped the USA to the silver medal.
And was it 6 overtime? Who scored? Who was the goal?
That game I definitely remember because I fell asleep in the second overtime and I woke up in the 6th overtime and was like, oh, nice. I didn't miss anything.
Tugnut. Well,
Tugnut, that's who it was.
Yeah.
was he the best? Yeah, Tugnut.
Tugnut was the goalie for the Penguins.
One of the best names ever.
Yes.
Let's see. Jake Allen's mask says in the YouTube says the Blues didn't look tired on a back-to-back for once, which they did look good. I thought the same thing. Against a good team in the building. That should not be underscored. Cannot be underscored enough. Brian Luck says, I think the Blues should start Billington more. And Deanna Walker says, hashtag why not Billington?
Isn't he dead yet?
Oh, cross him off then.
This guy's dead.
We'll cross him off then.
Oh, Craig Billington. Former Quebec Nordiquer. So the Blues did not look tired on a back-to-back, played a hell of a game, got a point out of it, probably should have got 2. Not going to complain. No. Tomorrow night they go into Boston. Boston's on the back-to-back.
Yeah.
David Backes was a fucking healthy scratch tonight for Boston.
I know.
He is going to kill the Blues tomorrow.
That's crazy. That's quite the maiden voyage for him. He's not used to something like that.
He's going to score like 6 goals and have 20 penalty minutes.
Who starts tomorrow?
Binnington.
You think so?
I think you got to go Binnington.
Jeff?
It's got to be Binnington, but I think it's going to be Allen.
I have no fucking clue who's going to start tomorrow. I'd like to see Binnington start. I think.
But Allen's so good on the road.
Yeah, that's true. He is the best. He has the best road goals against average and save percentage. I think it is in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the worst home.
Right. And then we're home for one game Saturday night against Ottawa. It's an early start.
Yeah.
And then, play Allen tomorrow night, Binnington Saturday night, and then they're on the West Coast.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Allen. Yeah, it's on the road. You go with Allen. I think Allen played well against Washington again.
And he's in like
I'm not gonna be upset.
Like Jeff said earlier, he's getting pushed right now.
Yeah, that's true. And I won't right now, based on how all things considered, I'm not gonna be upset whoever they announced the starter. But I'm leaning. I think they'll go Allen. The more I think about it, it's got to be Allen. The road thing. It's got to be.
I want to see Binnington, but I think it's going to be Allen.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. Jake Allen's mask says, I made a prediction that Allen gets a shutout or at least a win on Twitter. He thrives with competition. Well, is it a jinx if you say shut up before the game starts? My God, what are you doing? It's a goaltender's a handle. He should know better than to call shut out before a game starts. We talked about Bouwmeester. Perron, 12-game point scoring streak. Yeah. Right. Leads the team in goals with 17. Second on the team in assists with 17. He's second on the team in points with 34. Current 12-game streak, 6 goals, 9 assists. Playing great on O'Reilly's line. Makes he's the thing is that he's been taking fewer penalties too. I broke this down into his season into 3 segments. So he's second on the team with 36 penalty minutes this season, which is high. But so the first 13 games of the season started off really well. A lot of points, right? He had 2 penalties in the first 13 games, 11 points. Next 19 games, he had 13 penalties, only 8 points. Last 12 games, 3 penalties, 15 points. So stop taking penalties. And play with O'Reilly.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely helps. But yeah, let me ask you guys, does this not seem like the quietest 12-game point streak in the history of the NHL?
Well, he's got most of them. I think it's 15 points in 12 games, and most of the games were just 1 point, and he's got 9 assists. So.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, I don't know if you guys have the NHL app installed on your phone, but anytime any other player goes on a 6, 7, 8 game point streak, you're getting texts about it every night. I don't think I've gotten one about Perron.
Well, Perron is not an elite player, and the Blues are not in the playoff hunt. It's not a big city. I mean, it's the equivalent of a team from Florida, a player from Florida going on a 10-game streak. It's like, man, I mean, maybe.
You don't think they publicized it if Kucherov did?
For Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a superstar. I mean, I'm saying is that I think I don't think Perron is that. I'm not saying they shouldn't. They should highlight this. But I think it's just, based on where the Blues are on the standings and who's doing it. If Ovechkin had it, they'd talk about it. But
well, regardless of coverage, he's played
yeah.
very. I mean, remember, he was a healthy scratch just what, 14 games ago.
And they talk about the healthy scratch. He got the healthy scratch because of penalties.
Right.
Yes. Yep.
That's why he got it.
And then Steen didn't.
right. Yeah.
For the same reason.
Right. But in the last 12 games,
in the form of another concussion or whatever. But
and since he's come back from the healthy scratch, he's only taken 3 penalties.
Right, and he's playing such a focused, potent offensive game.
This is some of the best offense I've seen him play. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, he obviously Blues fans have seen him a lot.
His seasons here in St. Louis.
He's fantastic in circling the zone. I love it. I mean, he'll just hit one hand on the stick, body between the defender and the puck, and he's a bitch to get the puck from. He just kind of circles around, waiting for an opening, and he'll go all the way around the entire zone, and then kind of just dish it off.
Yeah.
And until something opens up. So and he's going to the net.
Or go back to the game against Dallas, and he knows he's up against Roman Polak, and just one hand around, stick it into the lower slot, and throw a shot on goal. Because Polak's not going to get between you and the net.
No. But yeah, no, I don't think anybody can complain about his play, his production this season has been really good.
No.
So
and he was a brilliant signing. Great for Armstrong to bring him back.
And it's funny because I know some people said that on Twitter that about who were some were happy that the Blues signed him initially and others weren't. And someone posted a screenshot of all the comments after the Blues signed Perron, and a bunch of people were no. Well, the reason I think that was because, again, I just mentioned that Perron's not that elite superstar player that jaw drop, oh my God, look who we got kind of guy, which it turns out it's a fantastic signing. But I think that reaction was not so much a diss on Perron. It's more of like, okay, where's the big signing we're doing? You know what I mean? And O'Reilly came later, but I think that was the reason for is this all we're doing? I mean, because I had that same reaction. I've always liked Perron. I always have. He's had his issues with his penalties, but I've always liked him. But I think that the reaction was, and I had this, that okay, well, that's fine, but where's the big one? Where's it? I mean, Armstrong made a lot of promises, and we're going to change this. We're going to turn this around. Where's the guy that we're getting?
And I thought that was more the reaction to
Bozak. Yeah, maybe. Well, Bozak was first, right?
Right.
Bozak was first, then Perron, and we're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And
where's the big name?
Right. Then by the time everybody, because this is what like 4th of July, right?
Right. That was the Ozarks.
Yeah. And so by the time that everybody was already into their third, fourth beer or third, fourth case, whatever, people had given up on it. Then the O'Reilly news broke.
Jake Allen's mask says Perron doesn't do what he's done without number 90.
Oh, I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah, without Sashkinov, he's just. Oh wait.
I think, you know what? I think you can say about a lot of players. I mean, it's hard to be a one-man team in this league. I mean, you need support on your lines, and O'Reilly's been fantastic. I mean, he makes everybody better. So stuff clicks.
Yeah.
Look at Kane and Panarin. They were fantastic. Although they can do it by themselves. That's a different story. They're elite.
Yeah.
We talked about Parayko being fantastic, Bowmeister being fantastic. A lot of good stuff to talk about, which is nice. So,
yeah, it's optimism. Is that what this is?
You know what? I mean, we started the show off with where we are in the standings, and we're 4 points out of a wild card spot, 5 points out of the third place, with Colorado falling apart.
Free-falling.
They're 2 wins in the last 11 games.
It's an avalanche of shit in Colorado.
Oh, I feel so bad for Kroenke.
I don't.
So I mean, we're games in hand too. So if we keep winning, we'll be there. Just got to keep winning. And Colorado lost tonight. Is that right? They lost. Ooh, that's what Jake Allen's mask said.
So, goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it at the start of the show, Kurt, that, they've got teams to climb, but they're playing. I mean, they're playing Anaheim coming up here. They got a couple other games coming up against some Western Conference foes. You get some wins there, and, I mean, they're right back in it, which, I mean, you would have said this 3 weeks ago, I would have laughed in your face.
So not only did Colorado lose tonight, they lost to Ottawa.
Yeah.
5-2.
You know, here's the deal: is that if we can get past Boston, I mean, we've got Ottawa, LA, and Anaheim coming up.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is that it's important to get those points because after that, we got Columbus, and then Florida, but then Tampa Bay, Nashville.
We never play well against Florida.
No. Okay. So Columbus, Florida, Tampa Bay, Nashville.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Columbus will be fun to watch because it'll be Sergei Bobrovsky facing off against his former team, right?
If all goes well.
And then New Jersey, and then Arizona, and then Colorado, Minnesota, Toronto, Dallas, Boston, Minnesota, Nashville. So there's a few tough games coming up in a row here, 4 or 5 tough games in a row. So it's really important to close out this month with some wins. I mean, at least. What, Boston, Ottawa, LA, Anaheim, at least 3 or 4 win? I mean, that's what you want, right?
Yeah. Boston's going to be a tough one.
I know, but
that'll be the tough one. I think the rest of those, they could, I mean, listen, we keep saying all year, stop saying they're easy games because these teams are heavy in the standings, but at this point, not very far. And then your team like LA is far below the Blues in the standings.
Yeah.
Right. And LA is, they're 4-5-1 in the last 10. And Anaheim is obviously
building that we don't usually play well in.
No, yeah, that's true.
Boston, though, so they lost tonight 4-3. Backus is a healthy scratch. They played Monday night, Montreal, big game in Boston. I loved seeing it. Montreal wearing the Reds in TD Garden. It's a throwback to the 80s and 90s. But Boston tied it in a late power play goal by David Krejci in the last minute with the goalie pulled, and they lost it in overtime on a Jeff Petrie backhand swat out of the air. I thought Montreal really outplayed them in that game. They didn't look great, and Backus was a non-factor, and I'm afraid of what he's going to do tomorrow night after getting healthy scratched.
I haven't paid much attention to his play recently. No. Has he been...
I haven't, honestly.
He looks very slow. I honestly don't know what his numbers are, but I've seen a couple Bruins games lately, and I hate to make the comparison, but we talked about Pat Maroon last week. That's probably how Bruins fans are talking about Backus.
So his game log here, he's got a goal and assist his last 6 games. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know how he's playing though. I haven't watched the games. Can't comment on his individual gameplay necessarily.
Yeah, I don't take time to watch Boston games unless they're playing teams that I like, because I don't like the Bruins.
Why is that? You a Canadians fan?
Canadians fan, anti-Boston sports anything fan.
Yeah, me. Yeah, I used to like the Bruins actually a long time ago, and I just kind of
Cam Neely. I mean,
yeah, that's the back in the Neely days and the Bork days. I used to like.
How could you not like it?
Moog, Andy Moog. Yeah,
I was a big Seabass fan.
Yeah, kick his ass, Seabass.
Halak played tonight. Looks like we get Rask. No, Rask played tonight.
Yeah, so we'll get Halak and Backus to destroy us tomorrow night.
Rask did play tonight. I watched part of the game. He was playing, right? He was in net. I thought, wasn't he?
I believe so. Couturier had the hat trick for Philly.
Let me pull this up real quick here.
You want to say that one again there, Bill?
Couturier?
I could tell you struggled the first time.
Yeah.
You had some beers.
Said that after. No, I only had one beer. Shouldn't have said that after.
It sounds like Don Cherry trying to say Kotkaniemi.
Halak was in that tonight. I don't know why I thought it was Rask. Okay.
Did he give up all 4?
Rask didn't play. Halak was the only one that played.
Wow. You were wrong twice tonight.
Well, there's a blue moon out tonight too.
But it's not a super blood wolf moon. That's Sunday.
So I guess we will get Rask. ESPN says Halak started, gave up all 4 goals. Yep. That is also what NHL.com says. I tweet out a link if you guys want to join us for just a few minutes here. And if you want to talk about goaltending, Bennington or Allen, who do you want to see tomorrow? At LGB Radio is the Twitter account. The link is there. If you want to click on it and join us on Hangouts on the YouTube chat. I don't have any social media fails, even though there's probably a ton, because usually the good stuff is after a win, because people are always finding something to complain about.
Yeah. It is funny seeing the tweets about that people have been putting out about, after Allen's win and then Binnington's loss. I mean, people talking about, why are we so divided? We should just be happy to see this team playing well. And it's true, but I think I see more of those than people actually being negative.
How many my support has never wavered this entire season tweets were there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure every team has its fair share of roller coaster bipolar fans, but on our letsgoblues.com forums, there was a bipolar meter for a while, because Blues fans just were so bipolar. After a win, we're winning the cup. After a loss, God, we fucking suck so bad. It was
Blues
just
for Hughes.
Oh my God. It was just living by the game to game is awful. Jake Onsman says, I joined, but I can't give away my identity or something like that. You don't have to show video, just do audio.
Yeah.
You could hide your audio, hide your voice.
Hide your voice. That
Yeah.
make any sense?
Just talk like this. You won't know who it is.
Distort your voice.
Distort.
Hide your voice is bad radio.
Yeah, right.
We've already had enough of that today.
You can talk to us in sign language.
There's a handful of folks watching. If you guys want to join up, we'll just a few more minutes and we're going to take off.
Hosers.
Take off, hoser.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I'm ready for bed.
Yeah.
You're an hour earlier, aren't you? Or later.
Yeah, it's 12:13 here right now.
So what is the internet tax for the mafia in New Jersey?
It's pretty high. If you guys want to hear a quick story about my my journey out here, I drove to New Jersey this time, which is crazy. It was about 15 hours after the snowstorm I hit in Pennsylvania. One of the tolls did not have a ticket for me to take, so then I went to the second toll about 100 miles away. And they were like, "Oh, if you don't have a ticket, we have to charge you for the full fare, $37." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
For their mistake.
Yep.
You should have said, "I'm sorry, guys. My name is Jeremy Roenick."
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
It was on the Philadelphia side, so I'm like, if I say I'm friends with Claude Giroux, can I get out of this?
Yeah, wasn't it Roenick that like he never paid and he just drove through the express lane and didn't have a pass?
I think so, yeah.
How'd you react? What'd you say?
Oh, I mean, I wasn't mad. You know, I don't get mad at people for doing. I don't get mad at people for doing their jobs, but yeah, I mean, I was like, well, I know my eyes got really wide, and I'm like, really? Are you sure that's right? Yeah, unfortunately, that's the full toll, man. I'm like, oh my god.
I think the perfect soundbite to play here would be the Steve Buscemi from Fargo. Are you fucking kidding me? I decided not to park here. I decided not to take the trip. Big man with your king clip-on tie.
See, I think you should have said something like this.
Oh, that's what I thought you'd say, you dumb fucking horse.
All right. I guess we will bid everyone adieu.
Adieu.
Yep.
To be
Next
fair,
show. Let's see. The Blues play Anaheim on Wednesday, the 23rd. So maybe a Tuesday, the 22nd, or a Thursday, the 24th. Show. There's a 3:00 game on a Monday. Is that a holiday?
yeah, it's
It's Martin Luther King Day.
I think we're off that day.
I'm off that day.
I think I am. Kind of sucks to not be off and have a Blues game be going on for a couple hours before you have work.
I'll still be in New Jersey.
Institution, you'll be off all major holidays.
Well, we're off quite a bit. I'm not complaining about our days off. I got a lot, but
yeah.
Columbus
State
Day, I'm not.
employee.
You have Columbus Day?
No.
It's not a major holiday.
So it's
You have Pulaski Day?
oh hell no.
Groundhog Day?
I don't work in Illinois.
All Saints Day?
No. Good Friday.
Okay. You have Bad Tuesday? I don't know that I just made that up.
Fat Tuesday.
Fat Tuesday. Sorry, Fat Tuesday.
No.
Black Friday?
I always take it off so we
Right.
can go drink.
That's right. It's Drinking Friday.
It's drinking Friday.
All right.
All right. I think
What a good way to end the show, guys.
Yeah. And we're no more tweets. And Jake on his ass said, "Have a good night, gentlemen." And I use that term loosely.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Don't call me Shirley. That'll do it, I guess, for this week's episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Kurt Price. That will conclude this week's broadcast of Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Bobrovsky.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available. I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to #1. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues.